Welcome to the Money Watch Show. It's Sunday, June 22nd. And as Mark recently predicted, the spring season just went away in about a minute. So Mark is Mark Talercio. He is my co-host. We are both certified financial planners, and we love this podcast because it allows us to dive deep into what's most relevant for you in your life. So hello, Mark Talercio, certified financial planner extraordinaire.
Hello, Jill. Yeah, I cannot believe where we are on the calendar. It's crazy.
I know. This is a problem because Mark and I do a lot of recording in advance. So here we are. We're talking. This is dropping. It's June 22nd, but we are talking to you on June 9th after the French Open. Mark, you were very amply rewarded with a French Open that was pretty exciting all around. Would you say?
Yeah, some people are saying it's the greatest French Open final ever played. That may be so. It's not the greatest match of all time, but it was a heck of a match.
I mean, the guy was down 2 sets.
Yeah, his first time he's ever come back from 2 sets down after losing the first 2 sets.
And Coco also came back.
Coco won. Coco's a fighter, man. She does not give up on a point.
I love that. I love that about her. It's like us. We don't give up. It doesn't matter what you throw at us. Okay, we do give up. Mark's also coming off of his big trip to Cape Cod from New York City, which is a very long drive. So I want to put a little pin in this because when Mark came back the last time he went to visit his friend on Cape Cod, he was like, oh my God, the traffic was so horrible. So now, when was the last time you went there? A year ago?
Yeah, it was last summer
Okay, so last summer. So he comes back complaining. Now, he gets up there this time. He leaves at a really good time, and he makes good time getting up there. And what was it, 4 hours, 4.5-ish?
In between, yeah.
Okay, so this is fine. He's good. Remember, he's got a kid in the car who's turning 6. Now I speak to him this morning, and he sounds beaten down. And you know what he says? Oh, man, it's so far.
It is
so far.
It's funny, though. You know, I grew up in the Northeast, 40 plus years. I never, ever had been to Cape Cod in my life. And then my good friend moved there, and I've been there 3 times in the last handful of years. But
that's fine. You can stop now.
Yeah, it's a schlep. It's yesterday coming back, it was a solid 5.5 hours.
Oh, it's brutal. Anyway, we're now planning Mark's next vacation. So anyone who lives in the Northeast, if you want to just put a flag out there and say, hey, come on to our area. That
beach.
Is what we
beach.
want. You
beach.
want beach. Okay, so there's only so many beaches that we can go to. You're not going to Maine if you're not going to go to the Cape.
Nope.
And so you could go to Rhode Island. You can go to Connecticut, but that's not Ocean Beach. You can go to Long Island. You can go to New Jersey. Or you can go even farther south. But you're not doing that. So
you said New Jersey. That never even crossed my mind.
Oh, my God. You're so funny. Anyway, this is the program that helps plan your next beach vacation. So if you'd like ideas, give us a holler. Go to Jill on Money. I'm just kidding. This is a show that takes the mystery out of your personal life, your personal financial life. And if you've got a question, go to our website, jillonmoney.com. Click the Contact Us button. Write us a note. Let us know what's going on. And if you'd like to join us live on the air, then we would be delighted to have you. Mark will arrange everything. While you're on the website, if I may indulge myself for a moment, we just had the last Jill on Money live webinar with the incredible Mike Quincy of Consumer Reports. And I have to say, Mark, this far exceeded any appearance he's had in the past. He's been on the show a bunch of times. He was incredible. The dude was on fire. So if you've got any sort of inclination about cars and you've got a little fetish about what you should do with your car, you've got to join Jill on Money Live. It'll cost you $45 for the next 12 months. This will give you access to the whole back catalog, including that most recent Mike Quincy webinar, which is incredible. And then you'll get 4 more. You'll get, 4 live webinars, bonus audio and video content. It was incredible, right, Mark? I learned so much. I had kept all this weekend. I kept quoting statistics to Jackie about the things that Mike talked about. It was amazing, right?
Mike was on his game. Mike is like the Ed Slott of the auto industry.
Yes.
He's just very, very passionate about his the field in general.
Yeah. I did tell my mother that the car she should buy for 85-year-old lady to get in and out of was a Subaru Forester. And to which she said, I'm not buying a Subaru. As one might predict of an 85-year-old lady living in the suburbs of New York. She's not buying a Forester. That's what she said. I'm not buying a Forester. So I'm going to the next best choice. And if you want to know what that is, you have to sign up for Jill on Money Live. Okay. Today we are going to the Midwest to our pal, Jason, who is calling from Chicago. Hi, Jason. How are you? What can we do for you?
Hey, Jill. Hey, Mark. You know, my wife actually, she just turned 40 on Friday. So she left me. She went down to Atlanta with my two boys. And so I've had them all weekend. She's snorkeling with sharks. She's a big shark fan. So her sister bought her surprise tickets to go take her snorkeling with sharks this weekend. So she comes back tonight. And excited to see her.
Hope she's got life insurance.
Wait a second. I was just going to say that's not a metaphor. You're actually saying she wants to snorkel with sharks.
She does. She's like obsessed with them. So
okay.
Great hammerheads are her favorite.
Okay. So what we could essentially call this episode is snorkeling with sharks. And then it would be fun if you told me you had a bad relationship with like a financial advisor. And then we could use it as a real thing and a metaphor. But you can tell us what's going on for you guys.
I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's good.
What do you got?
But no, I originally emailed you in February thinking that it would take a little bit longer to get into the hopper. And then I think you guys replied within a week or two, because in February, I was really struggling with work, was really stressed out, and had, a long trek ahead of me. And, you all responded, say, hey, can you talk in February or March? And I said, I'm completely swamped. So I actually emailed you back in the last week. And so now we're in June, and that's how long I've kind of been swamped with work. And so the origin of my question, or the impetus, was really, I have a pretty high paying job, but with that comes a lot of stress. I've got two young boys along with my wife from a family aspect, and just trying to get a sense of where am I right now? And if I were to look around at some other potential jobs, not that I would want to go down in salary, but, maybe how low could I go, or, where am I, how am I tracking, so that maybe I can make an informed decision as I kind of maybe pursue a potential job hunt. So,
Jason, do you still feel stressed out with work?
Well, now that I've had this big kind of busy season push, it's fallen off a lot. So it will get better. And, I've been with this company since I graduated college, going on 18 years now. And so I do like it. I love the people. But, there's a lot that comes with it. So
right.
I feel like I probably go through this occasionally. This was maybe just a rough year for me. So I feel like
But it's good to pay attention to that, because I think what it does is it informs you that, 18 years into the mission, which is a long time at one company, you're making good money, but it also informs you, like, maybe as you go through those stressful times, the older you get, there's one part of it that's like, oh, I know this, I can get through this. But then the other part is like, do I really need to do this every single year or every few years? So how much money are you earning right now at this place?
So I earn 310 as my base.
Okay. And are you, will you get bonuses or commissions on top of that base?
Yeah, usually there's an annual bonus paid out in October. The last couple of years, it's been around like 25,000.
Does the shark snorkeling wife, does she earn money as well? Is she at home? Where is she?
She is at home. She was a teacher for about 10 years in the Chicago public school system. And then when we had our now 9-year-old, she's been home.
Okay, so you've got a 9-year-old, and what's the other one's age?
He is 6, almost 7.
9 and, all right, I'll say 9 and 7 for now. Okay. So how's your cash flow on this? Let's call it 330 grand a year. How does it look for you guys?
Good. I mean, I'm able to save a lot. I really have a passion for personal finance. So, I mean, I just found you in the last year, but I ravenously consume financial podcasts. So, I mean,
but this would be the best podcast, you would say, right? I mean, not that. Yeah. Okay, good. Right. Let's talk about the savings. So tell us what you've accumulated so much from this $300,000 a year job.
Yeah. So in my 401k, there's currently $670,000.
And is that all traditional or some Roth?
There's some Roth. I would say maybe 600 of it is traditional, about 70 is Roth. I have access to a mega backdoor. So I got a big promotion about 3 years ago. And so the last 2 or 3 years, I've been able to fully max that, whatever it is, the 69 or 70,000.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay. What else?
My wife and I both have Roth IRAs. I have about 65,000 in mine. My wife has about 43,000 in hers. And then I did a backdoor Roth for the first time last year. So that's got 7,000. So that's our Roth bucket.
What about for the kids? Do we have some money that's put into a 529 for them?
Yes. So my oldest has about 11,000. My second child has about 6,000 in his. I'm putting around $350 per kid per month into that. And then my dad opened up 529s as well for them. There's not a ton in there, maybe a few grand each, but he continuously, puts money in there on an annual basis, maybe 500 to $1,000 a year as well.
Okay. That's awesome. What about non-retirement money? Maybe a brokerage account, a savings account. What else do you have, Jason?
Yeah, so in other non-retirement, I opened up a brokerage account, having listened to you all, trying to get that third bucket of savings built out. So there's around 5,000 in a brokerage. I'm putting in around $200 a month into that. I have an HSA that has 110,000 in there.
That's awesome.
Are fully maxing the family amount each year. And then, I've got like a small crypto account. I've got like 2,000 in Bitcoin, putting like $100 a month into that. And then just regular cash savings. Yep. I have a $30,000 in an emergency fund. I really want to get that higher. In my industry, as well as the broader market out there, right? Things are a little bit tougher. My firm's had a couple of layoffs the last couple of years, which I did not experience in my first 10, 15 years with the company. And so I told my wife that I wanted to maybe pull back a little bit of the retirement savings, just to maybe get that emergency fund up to $50,000, $75,000 to kind of feel a little bit more comfortable. And then also, if I'm going to maybe potentially have a job transition in the future, that might help give us some additional cushion and comfort.
Maybe. All right. Well, we'll talk about where to pull back, but I get the idea. That's a goal, to beef up the emergency reserve fund, right? Anything else that is, I'll get to real estate in a second, but any other investment savings, anything else like that?
No, that's about it. I've got two small UTMAs for my kids. I really enjoy kind of teaching personal finance and those lessons. And so I put $50 a month into each of their accounts, and it's a way for the three of us to kind of bond and talk about savings and, spending and saving and donating. So I've kind of enjoyed that. So that's another one. They've got probably about $1,100 each in those. But that's something that I also have out there. But other than that, that's those are all of our liquid assets.
Do you own your home or do you rent?
We own.
How much is the house worth?
The house is worth around $750,000.
Do you have an outstanding mortgage?
Yes. The mortgage has $365,000 left on it, and probably about 25 years to go. We refinanced in 2021.
Oh, okay. Then say the rate so that Mark can groan. Hold on a second. Mark, get ready to groan. So he refinanced in 2020, 21. So what's the rate on that, Jason?
It is 2.75.
You hear that groan? That's the groan of envy, by the way. Okay, so Jason, you're saving a lot of money. You're maxing out your retirement account. You're doing your mega backdoor. You're maxing out your HSA. You're putting money into brokerage. You're putting money into crypto. You're putting money into 529s, all this stuff. What do you think your actual expenses are on a monthly basis?
Yep. So I was looking at this last night to kind of track it. We do it a little bit loosely. I thought it was maybe 11, 12, 13,000. It's probably closer to 14, 15,000.
Isn't that funny when you actually look at it? You didn't want to look that close. So let's say 15.
Yeah.
Okay. Your wife worked for 10 years in the school system. Would she be entitled to any pension?
She would be. So trying to navigate the Chicago Teacher Pension Fund was a little bit difficult, but she would have access to a small pension. From what I could gather, she was contributing, her school was contributing on her behalf. She has like a lump sum balance of around 40 to 50,000 right now. And then looking at the metrics or the calculator, she could start claiming, or she can start to claim her pension at the age of 62. And it's the average of her 4 highest earning years, which as a teacher were not very high. So she was probably only earning $40,000 to $50,000 before she stayed home. And I would, from what I can gather, the estimated amount would be around $700 a month.
Would you be able to get, or she be able to get health insurance?
We would. And I think that's the reason why we never took that balance and withdrew it and got a refund of those contributions, because it looks like we have access to a PPO or Medicare supplements, and they discounted up to 60%. So from a access to healthcare perspective,
that's a good
that would
deal.
be probably the best benefit.
Yeah, I agree. Okay. So if you were to look ahead with all of this savings and you want to prioritize, like, when would you think about, hey, I'd like the ability to have a different kind of job? How far into your career do you think we're projecting? Because you're doing a great job. It's like you're not just starting out. You are, early career, 40 years old. Maybe you're going to work for 20 more years, but you're doing an awesome job. You've got money saved in retirement. You're doing a lot of different things. When do you feel like I'd like the opportunity to shift gears?
And is that question more in the context of kind of slowing down, looking at retirement, or just a true career shift?
I give me both.
Sure. I would love to see kind of where you all think I might be at 62 from a retirement standpoint.
Yeah.
My mom passed away when she was 46 from cancer, so that's also in the back of my mind. And I've tried to kind of ease off the gas a little bit and make sure I am being more present at home and spending time with my two kids. So now that I've kind of turned 40, that's definitely staring me a little bit more in the mirror. And I would say, Jill, I probably can't have another year like I've had in the past year. If that were to happen, at the end of this year or in the next year, I would probably for sure leave and probably I would still be in the same field, still be able to take a leadership role. But I would definitely prioritize work-life balance versus, how big the comp package is. As long as I can, still handle my daily expenses and still be putting away something for the future.
Got it. So, Jason, do you have life insurance on your life and your wife's lives?
I do. We have third-party policies on me. We have $1.5 million. That still has about 15 years left on it. And then I also have through work around $600,000. So all in a little over $2 million. And then my wife, we have $1 million on her as well.
Okay, good. So, Mark, this idea of being completely stressed at work, especially if you've had the experience of losing a parent at such a young age, I think it really weighs. I think a lot of people can really relate to that. So what's the message to Jason if he were to just plow through and not have some horrible next year, but like, what do things look like by age 62? Approximately, back of the envelope. Give us your best guess.
I mean, 62, I'm not worried about 62. He's already, they're doing a great job saving. They've already got a nice chunk of money saved, and they'll continue to save. But, I know what he does, so I suspect that he's probably going to have these feelings again and be in this situation again. So I don't think that's going to resolve itself where he is. But on the other hand, he's the only income earner, and that monthly nut is real. Yeah.
What do you think that Jason and his wife would be looking at in terms of, like, what would be a salary that, I think you could pull back on a lot of stuff and be okay. I really do. So in other words, you've got a whole bunch of money in the HSA. You can certainly stop putting money into crypto. You can stop putting money into a brokerage account right now. You can stop doing a backdoor Roth right now if you wanted to. And you can start beefing up your emergency fund. I guess, Jason, my question would be, let's say you could find another job, which would be, again, as you said, leadership, but not the same level of stress. What do you think that would be a job that would pay? Like, what's a range that we can look at?
So I've done a little bit of research lately. I think I would definitely be near the twos. I don't think I would want to go anywhere below two. And I feel like that's still certainly a very good salary, but also, it is a dip down, but I think I would still be able to check a lot of the boxes that I would want to perform. Right. So I think around that.
The other thing is, would your wife be, the kids are 9 and 7, but like in 5 years, you've got teenagers or, tweens. Is there any opportunity for her to step back into teaching?
Yeah, that's a great point. I think she could. I mean, she's so good with kids. She's an amazing teacher. She helps currently now at my kid's school with the school library. So
Mm-hmm.
I've told her you should start, weaseling your way in there to try and, as soon as they leave elementary school in a couple of years, try and get a job there. So I think she would definitely be able to contribute and get a job if she wanted to.
Yeah. I mean, also, if she were in the system, she's still building in the system, right? So that's
true.
kind of a cool thing. Mark, if they were to make, let's say between the two of them, that they would make like 225, how does that look if the expenses, maybe they're not 13, but maybe you could drop those expenses down to 11, 12 and just be a little more careful. Do you think that's doable if Jason has a rotten year and a couple of years from now his wife goes back to work? Do you think that they can float their lifestyle basically?
Yeah, I think it's doable. Like you said, they can trim some things here and there. They may not be able to do everything that they're doing now. They won't be able to. But as long as he's comfortable with that, then I think they can do it. Yeah.
I mean, I think that it's doable. Can I ask a very blunt question, which you'll love because you know me, I'm blunt. Your dad's putting money away for education. Does your father have a few bucks? Are you going to inherit any money? Would he be willing to help you out with education for the boys?
That's a good question. So he's a retired physician. So he definitely has a good amount of assets. I'm not expecting anything. I would assume there would probably be something there.
Yeah.
But, I think if that were to come to it and, 5-10 years from now, I wouldn't be surprised. He's the kind of person who would, write a big fat check.
Okay.
So I think that definitely could be in the cards.
I think that given what you've told us, I'm just going to do like big picture. You guys are in really good shape. But you're suffering for that great shape in some ways, right?
Yep.
And I'm not a moron. I get it. You get paid $300,000. They're going to be like, tough luck, Jason. Like, yeah, that's work, and I get that. That said, you know yourself, and as you said, like 18 years, things are a little different. I would actively start putting into place your game plan. I would be looking at other opportunities. I'd be talking to your wife very clearly that like, hey, kids are in school. Things are great. Like maybe we really should look at a way for you to, dip back into the system. Maybe it's like substitute teaching. Maybe it's like you said, like helping out in the library, but getting paid, and start to chart a path that you can activate this other game plan. I mean, look, if the country goes into some recession this year and the $200,000 job isn't there, then you're going to keep sucking it up and you're going to suffer. I'm just going to tell you, that's the God's honest truth. But if you find an opportunity that you really like and you think that there's like a good, like you feel like it's a stable move to make this transition, then I think that that's probably going to be a better outcome for you. So right now, kicking butt, stop putting money into crypto. Instead of pulling back on the retirement, you're maxing out your retirement. You're doing your backdoor. You're doing the mega backdoor, right?
Correct.
Everything else, why don't you put all extra money, HSA, crypto, brokerage, throw it into your emergency reserve. You need more money in that emergency reserve fund, no doubt. And there's a good time to do it. Like you have the cash flow, so do it. And everything else is like, will be gravy. If in a year from now, you get that bonus in October and it's a good bonus, just take that bonus also and just pop that into your emergency reserve. See how you feel. Get back in touch with us, and see what's going on. And no one is putting a gun to your head right this second. You shouldn't feel the pressure of, I must get a job right now. But I would be actively combing through opportunities and talking to people and seeing what's out there for you. Because it sounds like, if we're trying to figure out, can you do this for 22 more years for a 40-year career at one company, which would be pretty amazing, right? It's highly unlikely. So give yourself some options and see what else is out there. And give us a holler back. Don't do anything until you get back in touch with us.
Okay. No, I really appreciate
sound?
it. That sounds great. I appreciate the financial advice and therapy session all in one. That was great.
Dude, that's what I am. I'm like a financial therapist. It's so good. Anyway, if you, like Jason and his wife, are making good chunk of money, but you're seeking more balance, Maybe there's a way to get you there. Get in touch with us. Go to JillOnMoney.com. Click the Contact Us button. Write us a note. Let us know what's going on. If you want to join us live, it's so much better because then you get the therapy session, which is so good. Don't forget to sign up for the free weekly newsletter. Comes out every Friday, which is a great way to get ready for this weekend program. You can also subscribe to us on the Odyssey app. And while you're there, you can subscribe to our Monday through Friday show called Jill on Money. Mark Talercio is the co-host, executive producer, and king of all things web. We drop our episodes here at Money Watch on Saturdays and Sundays, and we ask you to please do something nice for someone else today. Change your work, change your wealth, change your life. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next week.